This conference will now be recorded.
So welcome back team and welcome to Python API development training program. So today we are going over to the demonstration session. That's where I will talk about the what is this Python API development training program and what is that we are going to learn and the duration, right? And the importance of this API development. I mean to say the Python. So we will be going over with those details, right? So if you have any specific questions, please do put it in the chat window, guys, or else can just wait for 15 minutes of time. Then you can unmute yourself and can ask me as well, right? Just thinking that probably the basic questions that you may be having, right, might have covered might be covered in this demo session, right? That's the reason. So I'm going to take maybe 20 minutes of your time to go over with this demonstration, guys, just to talk about the agenda of this training program, right? So, and once again, welcome to the Python API development program training, and right. So let's go over. So I would request everyone please be on mute, guys, and please don't turn on the video as well. That just creates the distraction, right? Looks good. So before me getting into the the Python details, right? I wanted to introduce myself, right? This is PR Reddy, and I'm the instructor of this complete Python API development training program, right? I have been working as a cloud and DevOps developer since last couple of years. It's like overall 13 plus years of experience in IT, right? Working with various domains. I majorly work with the cloud, Linux, DevOps, Python, right? Terraform, and the programming languages, right? And apart from my professional career, right, I have been into the training since last 10 to 11 years, right? And have given the trainings on various different technologies, right? Start from the AIX, Linux, Terraform, AWS, Python, right? DevOps, right? Azure, right? And yeah, so today we are here to learn about the Python, right? Let's see what is that we are going to cover in this Python course. Uh, you see this screen, right? What this Papit course? So I'm just using this short name here, which is Python API development course, right? So in this course, primarily you are going to learn the Python programming language, right? And definitely when you are learning the Python programming, right, the Python is just the programming language which is solving certain couple of real-time use cases, right? So if you are actually using the Python in the real-time manner to solve certain real-time issues, right? So knowing Python is not enough, right? Because at end of the day, we are going to use this Python to integrate with any other different tools to do the development or to do the automation as well, right? So considering that along with this Python programming, I also cover the Git basics because we need to know how do we push our Python code to the repositories. So you must be having some of the Git knowledge, right? And to build the use cases out of this Python, right? Because Python is just a scripting language or a programming language, right? Using this Python to deliver some use cases, right, we should be familiar with a few other tools as well, which you are going to do the development or automation. So being said that, in this course, I also cover the Kafka basics, which will be helping us to understand how the real-time event processing is happening, right? And how the Python will be useful in integrating with the Kafka tools, right? And I also cover with the MySQL databases, because when you are learning the Python, you should know how the Python will be loading the data, right, to the databases. So that's where you must be having some of the database skill too. So as part of this training program, I do touch base with the basics of MySQL database too, right? And the AWS Lambda basics as well, because we heavily use the Python in the AWS Lambda if you are using, or if you are part of the project where the organization is using the AWS cloud, right? And a couple of the development tools required to work with the Python, like a Postman and a Swagger, right? So I will be going over with those tool sets as well. What does it mean, guys? Of course, this is the Python programming language, but I'm sure you can't achieve the real time without knowing few other couple of supporting tools. So as I mentioned here, the Git, Kafka, MySQL, right? Swagger, Postman, something like that. So hence the reason to have a complete concrete information, right? How are we going to use this Python in real time? I just have covered up all these supporting tools as well to build the use cases on those things, right? So mostly if you get into the Python course everywhere or wherever, right, you just get only the Python as an program, but not any other tools. But here I'm just including a few of the supporting tools as well to make this happen, right? And if then you definitely have a question that what are the prerequisites or what must be known already to get into this course, right? So if you ask me, you don't need to have any of the prior basics, I would say, right? We will be going over the very basics of this Python programming language, and whatever the dependency tools that I am going to, right? All those dependency tools also will be covered by me, right? To the extent where or till which level that you need some knowledge. Definitely, right? When you are learning Python as a primary skill, the Python will be covered pretty much, and all the other tools can be a secondary skill, right? In this case, maybe a Kafka, MySQL can be a secondary skill, right? So whatever the which extent that you need this knowledge, I will definitely be covering those things as well. So you don't need to have any prior basics, right? To go over with this course, right? And just come down to the next slide that so though you are not understanding what is Python because you are pretty much new and you are here now to learn the Python, but the Python is kind of a popular programming language that everyone is expecting, right? The reason is the Python supports the different style of programming. It includes you can write a code using a procedural or a functional programming. It can even support for the object-oriented programming, right? And it is a general purpose programming in the sense it's quite easy to write a code compared to any other programming languages. And this is the interpreter programming language. That means we don't need to worry about building the code. We can just use it as is once the code is ready, right? And the high level programming, so writing the Python code is quite easy, right? Using simple syntaxes. So pretty much it has significant uh, add-ons are there compared to any other programming languages. So it became a mandate skill for every engineer, right? So we'll definitely talk about all these different things that I have listed down here in the upcoming lectures, how and how it actually differs with other programming languages and what advantages that or how easy it is in writing the code in the Python, right? So why Python again, right? So at least to my context, right, the reason why I have picked up the Python, thinking that, hey, I need to give this Python skill to my audience, right? The Python is widely used in the industry, right? The Python is being used by a web development teams to develop the web applications, right? The Python is being used in the data science technology where the data analyst, the data science engineers also will be using this Python, right? And the machine learning, right, where uh, the machine learning engineers who are actually writing the code to make the machine learning programming, right? And the recent burge is artificial intelligence, right? The Python is using in artificial intelligence space as well heavily. Apart from all these different development platforms, Python is also being used heavily in automation sector where the DevOps engineers, cloud engineers, administrators, SRE roles, all these people also using Python to solve their automation problems, right? So since the same Python code is being used in the different domains or sectors, it's a kind of a mandate skill nowadays, right? Because it's pretty much covered all the different sectors, all the different job roles as well in the market, right? So if you are part of any of these different sector, probably the Python is definitely needed for you guys, right? Though you guys are at the development side or a administrative side like a DevOps or a cloud engineer side, still the Python skill is needed as Python works for the automation side as well as the Python is great in terms of the development side as well, right? So being said that, if you ask me like who are good for this, to learn, right? So I would say that, right, if you are working as a developer or a administrator, or it is even helps for the recent graduates as well, like a freshers who are actually not into the IT. This course will definitely help for them as well to gain some knowledge on the Python and the use cases in the real time and the supporting tools, right, to get into the Python career. All right. So if I talk about some of the use cases, right, of course, the use cases are many in real time, but I just wanted to call out some of them, right? So majority of the times, the Python, and of course, I'm getting some use cases to the context that we are discussing, right? Let's say if I go back to the previous slide, right, which talks about the Python is using by the different sectors, start from data science, machine learning, right? The overall, the Python basics or the Python programming syntaxes will remains be the same for all these different sectors, but if you get into a little more advanced, then the Python has their own specific modules for each sector. Let's say if the data science people are using the Python, they have their own modules, they have their own things that they need to be familiar with. Like that, let's say the web developers, they have their own thing that they should be familiar with. So I would say 60% of the Python will remains be the same across all the teams. The remaining 40% of the Python skill will differ there and there based on their specific use case. That's how it works basically. In the sense, once you complete this Python course, is not mean that you can work as a data science engineer, machine learning engineer, intelligence engineer. No, right? So basically the Python will help you to put the base for you, and that's where you can get started with any of the different job rules. So the to the context of the sector, there are some more things that you need to add it there, right? The dependencies, all these things. That's how it works. Okay. And let me come down to the other slide, right? So here to the context of the developer side. So this course is more of focusing on the developer side, right? Who are actually developing the web APIs, right? And also this course is pretty much focusing on the to the people who are using this Python as a automation, right, in their career for the cloud and the DevOps engineers as well, right? Hence the reason, if I look at some of the use cases here, right, the Python is heavily using in cloud custodian in Lambdas for automation, right? Some of the Kafka event processing, some of the image processing in media related applications, right? And some of the data transformation logics in the data pipelines by the data engineers, right? And the deploy the infrastructure for the SRE engineers, right? So pretty much these are the different use cases that the SREs, data engineers, and the web developers are actually using Python. Hence, if you look at the corresponding dependencies, right, you would need a bit of knowledge on Kafka, Lambda, MySQL, right, and these things to develop the code. So I will cover the required basics as well to show you exactly how this is being used and integrated, guys, right? That's the scope here, right? So as part of that, I will also touch base with some of the projects. And again, when I say projects in the sense, what problems that we are solving in the real time, right? So these are the couple of projects that I'm going to show you, like how we can develop the Python application, the API application. Now, how do we build and deploy this application, and also showing you how we can integrate these API development, right, to the Kafka streaming applications, and how this is integrating with the real-time databases like MySQL, and also considering the automation perspective, right? We deal with how are we going to achieve some of the automations using the AWS Lambda as well. So pretty much the projects are covering some of the things related to the automation side, and some of the things are related to the actual API and development side to develop the new APIs or REST APIs that is towards the developer scope, right? So nowadays we need the knowledge of the APIs to everyone, even if you are working as a developer role or if you are working as a DevOps or the cloud side, still you need some knowledge on the API as well. So considering that aspect as well, I included this API in development course to know how exactly the APIs are built and deployed, and how it is integrated in the microservices world, right? So that's the overall goal here. And going into the context here, right, the syllabus, I would say. So pretty much I will touch base with the majority of the primary skills that you would be needed. It includes the Python data types, functions, modules, variables, control statements, right, exceptions, oops concept, right? And we also, work with the Python REST APIs packages. Pretty much these are just a high level. And the complete course curriculum, I'm sure you might have been received by now, right? So this is the complete course curriculum that you can go over to understand what are the different things that will be discussed, and how unique this course is about comparing to any others, right? So because pretty much if you look into the Python curriculum, right, it also has some real-time dependency courses as well, not just the Python as a simple programming, right? So that's the thing here. So coming to this, yes, couple of highlights that I wanted to go over, right? These highlights, it includes like course tracker in the sense I will be maintaining the course tracker. That's where I will talk about the different topics or the scenarios that I have discussed in each day. I'm going to put them into a tracker for your reference to know that what and all different topics that we covered on each day. This is how we are going to run the sessions, right? And if you have any specific questions that you wanted to ask me, right, I have created a question tracker where you guys can, edit this sheet and add your problem. Then I will be discussing that right in the next lectures case, right? So that way I'm not go you are not going to miss any of the single question that you have. Everything will be covered as you are documenting your problems here, and we will be going to this sheet to discuss the issues that have been reported as well, right? So then, yes, you get the weekly assignments to do some practices around this, and uh, the all the sessions will be get recorded, and you get the access to the video recordings too. And whoever needs the help on resume preparation, we will be helping in adding up these Python skills to your current profile, right? And yes, if you are really interested on the mock interviews, right? And yes, we do conduct the mock interviews for the folks who are actually, looking for this to support you guys to the context of the interview process as well, and knowing things, how do you get into the job world, right? So the next thing is about the training hours, right? So I'm planning to conduct this training program on 3 days in a week, which will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the timings will be 3:30 p.m. IST, right? Which will be around 6 a.m. EST, or I would say 5 a.m. CST, right? Or maybe 10 a.m. GMT, I believe, right? So this is the time that I'm thinking: Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the overall duration of this course will last for uh, close to 40 hours. Always there will be plus or minus, but yeah. So I'm thinking it can wrap up in total of 40 hours of time, right? And the next session, I mean to say today's demonstration session, right, where I'm going to talk about the agenda of this training program, right? So the first session will get start from the 23rd August, which will be next Friday, because today is like kind of a Saturday, right? So we'll get start with the first session on 23rd August, which will be next Friday, so that we can have a continuous 3 sessions without any gaps, right? That's the thought that I have, right? So the pricing for this whole course, right, 12K INR, right? So it includes the Python as a primary skill for you, and as I said, all the dependencies also will be covered as part of the same training program, right? And as I said, right, if you're working on a Python, you need some basics of few other as well, right? So what I'm thinking, right, to give you more benefit out of this, right, whoever is interested to learn some of the Linux basics, whoever is interested to learn some of the AWS basics or the DevOps basics, right, any other, because nowadays, I would say everyone must know everything. That's how the expectation is there, but not to the expertise level, at least to the basic level, right? I mean to say, to which, what is your primary skill, you should be more expertise, and other things you should know as like a secondary skill, as at least the basics, right? That's the expectation. So thinking that whoever is interested to know more about the deployments, right, other Kubernetes and other things, so I'll ask the admin to give you the access to the DevOps course as well, which will be covering the Kubernetes, Docker, Terraform, AWS, Linux pretty much, right? So I think I would ask my admin to give you for 50% of discount to the actual price of the course videos, so that uh, whoever needs that supportive skill can get them and no, go over with them as well, guys. Because nowadays the developers also need the skill of the some of the skill of the containerization and other things as well, to know how your application can be deployed there as well, right? That's the reason. So I'm just giving that supporting thing as well, right? So that helps you somehow, right? Uh, yeah, I think that's where I am now, right? Right. I just have given all the different things that you must be knowing before you take a step and get into this Python programming, right? And learn the things, right? So if any questions, do let me know, guys, or you can contact the admin, right? The number that you see on the screen. Just make a WhatsApp chat there and get the things clarified, right? So I'm expecting that you work with admin and complete your registration process and right. Uh, then we will be continuing our journey start from the next Friday, right, to go over with this Python API development training program to enhance your Python skills to your current job profile, right? So now getting into the questionnaire, right, in the chat window, right, I would say you don't need any prior knowledge of any other things to get into this Python, guys. Whatever is needed to get start with, I will be talking about all of them, right, including the basics, and I say the supporting tools like a Git, Kafka, MySQL, AWS Lambda. I will also cover those basics as well to make this as a complete program, right? So any questions, do let me know, right? So the next question that I see that are we learning complete Python? What does it mean by the complete Python, right? So if you look into any Python programming, it's all about understanding how the Python is being used in the real time to solve certain use cases. So yes, we are going to cover all the Python, the as a programming, right? And some of the use cases that we can build using the Python, right? So as and when you get into the new problem or the new scenario, and to solve that, you need to get into that particular mode. Basically, you will get the idea, you'll get the approach, you'll get how to use this programming language as is to solve the problems. Then when you get into the new problem, right, you need to go over with that thought process, I would say. So yeah, the complete the syntaxes that you see, sorry, the syllabus that you see in this course window uh, PDF, so that I have shared already here. So just to repeat again, right, usually the Python is being used in the different sectors, data science, machine learning, right, the developers, web developers, and I would say DevOps engineers, right, artificial intelligence. So as and when where you are using the Python, in which sector that you are using the Python, based on that the skill, the Python skill will slightly vary there and there. So this program, this training will help you to work as a web developer role, right, and the automation engineer role, like a DevOps side. The DevOps will get the benefit out of this course, or the cloud engineers will get the benefit out of this course, and also the web developers will also get the benefit out of the course. To these roles, right, whatever the things that is needed, will be covered. But if you're looking for the data science guys and other things, those will need some other extra modules which are not going to cover, right? So That's how it works, because you all know, right? It's all module based approach. So there are thousands of modules that are out there in the market. So you can't go with all the 1,000 modules, each module for solving certain problem. So that's how it works. Thank you. Yeah, so just to cover up that one more time, right? So this program will help you to enhance your career towards the DevOps side or the cloud side or the web development side. These three different job roles that will be more useful in this training program. And the freshers also, as they need to get started with this. Yeah. So I'm expecting any questions, guys, right? So just to cover a few line items again, right? So the batch is going to start from the 23rd of August, which will be next Friday. The first session will be, and by then you all should connect with the admin and complete your registration processes and right, add to the WhatsApp group of this batch so that you'll get the meeting invites for the next for the sessions, right? And whoever is interested to get the cloud and the DevOps related videos, just contact admin and get it with discounted rate, guys, to get some context related to that as well. Because nowadays, if you are working as a developer role, still you would need some knowledge of the cloud and the deployment tools, right? And vice versa, right? Whoever is working on the DevOps and the cloud side would need some kind of the programming language. Who are already working in the programming languages as a developer role would need some knowledge on the deployment side as well, right? That's where the cross training is required. Hence the reason, right? We will be offering the videos of the other things as well, right? If any questions, let me know, guys, or else we are good for today. And yeah, yes, so every session will go for at least 2 hours of time. Yeah. So yeah, I can see some generic question in the chat window that when the market will become stable enough, right? Interesting. So I would say that as and when the days are going, right, we should be learning many skills. We should be multi-skilled, right? We should know pretty much a lot of things, right? I mean to say, knowing one single tool, one single language is not enough these days. We should be having much exposure of all the different tools too, right? Not to the expertise level. One can be a expertise, the primary skill. All other things can be at least a basic level. That is the expectation. And answering to the question, I would think that it would take another 6 months. So with the interest of the time, right, I would say that market is still there, guys. Okay, don't think that the market is down or not stable. Market is still there. The problem is market is slightly changed and expecting some other different skill that than what you learned, right? So that's what it is. So we need to see what the market is expecting and get that knowledge in hand. So then you'll see from the other side of the world the thing, right? Like a market is good. Market is currently in the transition stage where market is expecting some other different skill than what you learned or what was there already. Kind of a bit of programming languages and a bit of artificial intelligence kind of knowledge, right? So a bit of multi-skill knowledge. So that's how it is expecting nowadays to solve the different problems. Yeah, that's where it is. So the DevOps training that what I have said, right, are those are the live training that I usually give, right? Those are recorded, like how I'm giving this Python programming course, right? So I also delivered the DevOps course. So those recordings you can get it with a discounted rate if you are interested on learning some of the cross training skills as well to have a supporting. So I usually, whoever is joining for the DevOps course with me, I offer the Python course videos because the DevOps guys would need the Python skill. Whoever is joining for the Python course, I will be offering the DevOps videos because that's how the dependencies, right? To have a complete real time to be get delivered. All right, I don't see much questions over there in the chat window. Hope you are all good and got the context what it is about, right? I see a question there that reduced cost on both courses. I know what is both courses here. So I said that since you are now enrolling for the Python course, I said that you'll get the DevOps course videos with a discounted rate. So the DevOps is not for enrolling guys. The DevOps videos you will be getting, right? You'll get the access to the DevOps videos, not to the course that you can join. You'll get the DevOps videos to go over with them. Since you join for the Python, you'll get the DevOps videos, right, to go over. I would say the certification is not required as long as you have the skill in hand that is good enough, guys. Certification is no longer needed. If you are interested, yes, you can take one, but I would think that certification is not mandate or not going to help much. Yes, so if you are actually enrolling for the DevOps, you'll get the Python course. right? The DevOps is a vast course, right? If you join for the DevOps course, you will get the Python for free. If you join for Python, you'll get a DevOps recording videos for discounted rate. Just check with admin once for more details, which is your primary skill and which you already know, which you wanted to learn now. All right, guys, I think, yeah, so you can even connect back with admin after the session as well if you have any specific questions, right? And see you in the next session. Thank you.